When you think of engaging your employees and customers, do you think of using art? One cold December evening, my family had just sat down at a tiny table at a local restaurant. It was busy and so noisy. My son, Himal, quietly got up and started looking at his painting on the wall. My wife, Sandhya, and I saw the owner of the restaurant walking towards us with a welcoming smile. But he goes directly to Himal. As he patted him on his shoulder, he says, "Well done, Himal. People ask about your art all the time." As we sat there, pleasantly surprised, we observed how Himal's face lit up and his smile grew bigger and bigger. It was a smile of accomplishment and pride. This was the first time I had seen anything like it. We were full of pure joy. We almost had tears in our eyes. We were so relieved. We finally knew how we could help him foster his purpose in life. It only took 15 years for us to figure that out. Back when Himal was 2 years old, my wife and I took him to the doctor. After several evaluations, we were facing the pediatrician, sitting on the edge of our seats, waiting for an answer. And with a serious face, he says, "It's autism." Puzzled, my wife and I looked at each other, puzzled, wondering what autism was. He explained it was a spectrum disorder and that Himal was on the severe side. I couldn't hide my shock when he declared that our son would probably never speak and never be independent. I felt my world falling apart when he said that Himal would probably live in an institution by the time he was 5 years old. In that moment, we thought all our dreams for his future were crushed. We were paralyzed. We didn't know what to do. Within weeks of desperately asking, "Why us?" my wife and I finally got to the place of faithfully asking, "Why not us?" We found our purpose in this process. And we decided to do whatever it took to help our son develop life skills and independence. Fast forward, Himal was 10 years old, and my wife was working on a painting in the basement. Himal and his older brother were running around the easel, and in the commotion, my wife dropped her brush. Himal playfully picked up the paintbrush and started dabbing it all over the canvas. This got us thinking, could our son take an interest in something other than his tablet? So we found him an art teacher and started small. It took 3 months before we celebrated our first tiny victory of Himal simply holding a brush and standing next to a canvas for 1 minute. During this long and arduous journey, we had to reach for the patience we didn't have. Gradually, Himal started making progress, and people started validating his work. Moments like these and the moment like the one at that restaurant significantly boosted his self-esteem and deepened his passion for art. This gave me and my family hope for his future. Along the way, we spoke to several hundred parents of children with autism, and at least 20% of these children had artistic abilities. So I started thinking, could we help other individuals on the spectrum experience the transformation that my son had? This inspired me to create a social enterprise to uplift and raise awareness about these individuals and change the perception of autism. Within months, a 5-star hotel had commissioned our artists to paint a 400 square feet mural in Washington, D.C. Their work was featured in the local and national media. This exposure created a snowball effect. Many large companies and small companies started seeing the value of displaying this artwork and reached out to us. And this effect, this change in these companies was transformational for the companies and the individuals. The employees at these companies were in awe of this art. They started to see the people with autism differently. They started to see for their strengths. It helped them develop acceptance and respect for their colleagues and people with disabilities. These encouraging outcomes motivated us to use technologies such as animations and augmented reality to create experiences from this art that effectively engaged the employees. We found that this art jump-started new conversations about inclusion. Further, it increased the employee pride in their company, trust in their leadership by being a visual demonstration of companies' commitment to diversity and inclusion. According to another study by Disability Inclusion, less than 20% of employees with disabilities voluntarily disclose their disability status. So I was pleased to hear from clients that with this art in place, more and more employees disclosed their disabilities as they felt an increased sense of psychological safety and belonging. And in 2 short years, we reached our goal of helping the artists feel seen, valued, and recognized. Additionally, a source of income boosted their self-esteem and provided them with hope for a better future. One of my favorite moments is a conversation I had with the mother of one of our artists. She said her son has a greater sense of satisfaction and self-confidence. And finally, their family felt socially included. So, here is what we have learned. When businesses showcase the art of people with autism in engaging ways, they jumpstart new conversations about inclusion. They change the perception of autism and disabilities. They foster acceptance and belonging in their work environments. So, my invitation to you today is to join this movement. You can start by simply researching for artists in your community and finding a creative way to support one of them. For example, you might showcase their art at your home or at your workplace. When you do this, you change one life, and together we all instill millions of lives, hope in millions of lives. That's what the restaurant owner did. He recognized Himal's strengths. His curiosity ignited a sense of purpose in our family, transformed his business, and transformed an entire community. We all can create this kind of change.